Welcome to our continuing series of LDS thought leadership podcasts and videos dedicated to the discussion of transformation management. In the first part of this series, I described how fourth industrial revolution combinatorial technologies will, over time, transform all the systems we take for granted today. We looked at how access to sources of knowledge, a decent standard of living, and the right to a long and healthy life will ensure the benefits of human development are equitably realized. We discussed how to manage the externalities of contemporary risks and unintended consequences resulting from foreseen and unforeseen economic, geopolitical, environmental, social, and technological events, as well as how to ensure the future is human-led and human-centered. I'm Mimi Brooks, and this is LDS On Part 2 on leading a purpose-driven organization in a digital world order. Let's finish this up. Today, many businesses face the task of understanding and governing 21st century technologies with a 20th century mindset and 19th century institutions. So just what does it take to ensure the benefits of human development are equitably realized, to manage contemporary risks and unintended consequences, and to ensure human centricity in organizational transformation? To survive and flourish over the coming years, leaders will need an agile mindset in order to systematically innovate so that their organizations can harness the full potential of the digital infrastructures evolving around them. Rather than relying on rigid hierarchical chain of command, leaders must embrace an entrepreneurial decision-making process that relies on advice from those who possess expertise relevant to the problem being solved, coupled with input from those who must live with the consequences of any decision made. As shown here, there are four important principles to keep in mind when thinking about how to define a leadership mindset in the purpose-driven organization. These are values, not disengagement; empowering, not determining; systems, not technologies; and by design, not by default. Let's look at each of these in more detail. Disengagement of the workforce is a constant concern of leaders, and technology is often linked to this increasing disparity. All technologies implicitly have values baked into them, from their initial concept to how they're developed and deployed. We must recognize this and debate values at all stages of technological innovation. Today, we can argue that sources of employee disengagement attributed to technology might include perceived threats to job security, obsolescence, invasions of privacy, data integrity, and misinterpretation of data collected. A leadership mindset focuses on value creation as a motivating activity that results in change and transformation within the workplace and provides employees with avenues to participate in work transition and redesign. Here are a few ways to create new value in today's organizations, value that's both the basis for business growth and good for the human agenda. First, we shift innovation to the edges where networks of experts and autonomous cross-functional teams work at the edges of the organization, supported by capabilities that scale the benefits across the business. We create a culture that provides strategic space for iterative reflecting and sense-making that drives continual learning and adaptation. We build value-creating ecosystems with shared platforms that deliver customizable products and services and enable enterprise capabilities such as digital, operational, and corporate-wide at scale. These ecosystems, by design, are human-friendly, transparent, democratic, peer-to-peer, and relationship-centric. We expand trust boundaries as a steady undercurrent of privacy and trust concerns around ever more sophisticated conveniences is raising the stakes on the broad topics of trust. We drive towards the common good, rethinking the role that business should play in society while radically reconsidering how value is created in our capitalist economies. Who creates it? Who extracts it? And what happens when extraction is rewarded over creation? We redesign for speed by accelerating productivity improvements, reshaping portfolios, and innovating new business models while reallocating constrained resources. We bust silos and redesign our antiquated organizational systems, structures, policies, and processes that are holding back our ability to leverage our human capital and ingenuity. Legacy businesses likely need to diversify. Although disruptors may have speed, incumbents have their own natural advantages. These include existing relationships and the trust of clients and members, the ability to quickly scale up what works across markets, time-honed operational discipline at scale, and in some cases, opportunities for diversified growth to strengthen the core business as well. Lastly, we must reallocate resources following a tested portfolio of processes that aim to seed high-growth areas with the resources necessary to succeed while avoiding re-entrenchment in the core business. The second aspect of the leadership mindset is what I call empowering, not determining. New forms of institutional innovation will pave the way for a new leader mindset that heralds unprecedented change and guides the workforce towards opportunities to flourish even as technological advances drive seismic shifts across all organizations. At its heart, this movement is about empowering people rather than the rise of machines. As such, it's critical that people experiencing digital transformation understand why and how they contribute value in these new business models while bringing their own purpose and their own pursuits into their new work. This ultimately involves giving workers more autonomy and control over their everyday tasks to ensure that work is empowering and human-centered rather than divisive and dehumanizing. By empowering people, leaders are more likely to be trusted and be more effective at influencing performance. Rather than focusing on determining outcomes in an era of unprecedented technological evolution, business leaders must seek to implement systems that give workers more choice, more opportunities, freedom, and control over their work lives. This is key when we consider how emerging technologies increasingly harness machines that can decide and act without human input. Related to empowerment, organizational silos are one of the most disempowering challenges that every purpose-driven organization faces today, leading to conflicting or misaligned priorities, lack of clarity, and a fragmented approach to execution. Siloed environments affect the connected enterprise in multiple ways. First, they lead to increased technological complexity due to fragmentation, resulting in diverse architectures, systems, and processes across teams. This complexity hinders the seamless integration of new organizational systems and practices, including those focused on innovation and responsiveness to customer needs. Additionally, siloed decisions and development can lead to incompatible technological solutions and interoperability issues. These challenges increase the pressure for short-term workarounds, further escalating technical debt and complexity impacts. The vitality of the organization of the future will be measured by its capacity to dynamically adapt its business, empower its workers, and grow sustainably through holistic operating systems, value stream management platforms, centralized hubs, collaboration tools, advanced communication platforms, and intelligent data management. The idea that a leader's job is to extract value from processes and people is morphing into a strategic focus on adaptability and learning that exemplifies the connected organization through networks of teams, flexible resources, and standardized processes. This is where progressive and alternative points of view bring cognitive diversity to the organization and increase its ability to rapidly respond to new opportunities. Our third facet of the leadership mindset asks whether we will be able to truly understand how technologies are transforming the systems we need to run our business without attempting to gain a deep understanding of these different innovations themselves. At the very least, we need a minimal viable understanding and appreciation of emerging technologies. We also need to explore trends and linkages across these to understand how they relate to one another and will cumulatively impact our organizational systems. Let's look briefly at the three driving forces behind systems, not technologies, today. First, defining human-machine interactions. Key developments are directly impacting the efficacy of human-machine interactions. These are the ability to store massive amounts of data, the emergence of increasingly powerful machine learning algorithms, the deployment of faster and more reliable communication systems, and exponential increases in computing power. Second, activating ecosystems via platforms. The employee experience, the worker experience, and customer experience are all platforms in their own right, built increasingly on the value of give-and-take relationships of platform participants across a flat, democratic, social, and fluid ecosystem. These three experiences combine technology, operations, and culture to drive cost efficiency, productivity, and growth. Lastly, directing technological influx. Technologies for connectivity, collaboration, security, and workload facilitation are all rising to prominence. This trend will continue unabated as wearable devices, virtual and augmented reality, online learning, expanded data collection, analytics, increasing cloud computing, and 5G activity, as well as generative AI, machine learning, and robotics become ever more commonplace. All of these assets can combine to have a significant impact on the employee experience and bring us closer to the point of work in terms of experiential value. Right now, the market space for technologies that power employee experiences is expanding and transforming in significant and exciting ways. Speaking for a moment of generative intelligence and generative AI, which of course is one of the hottest topics in business today, I think it's important to take a moment to touch on our unfolding age of AI. In their 2022 book entitled The Age of AI, Henry Kissinger, Eric Schmidt, and Daniel Huttenlocher declared that AI is, quote, the partial end of the postulated superiority of human reason. Although AI is progressing far less predictably than Moore's law, the authors believe that it will accelerate at least as fast as computing power, yielding a million-fold increase in 15 to 20 years, allowing the creation of neural networks that at scale are equal to the human brain. In a word of warning, the authors write that, quote, while the number of individuals capable of creating AI is growing, the ranks of those contemplating this technology's implications for humanity, social, legal, philosophical, spiritual, and moral, remain dangerously thin. Recently, more than 350 technology executives, researchers, and academics signed a statement warning of the dangers of artificial intelligence, saying that, quote, mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war. Clearly, this is a call for responsible development and governance of the technology, along with international collaboration and cooperation, while aligning AI with human values, regulating it with proper safety measures, ensuring transparency and oversight of this development, and ensuring responsible use and behavior by users. I would add that a common apprehension concerning the rise of AI is the fear of job loss due to automation. While it's true that AI can perform tasks traditionally done by humans, it's crucial to see this shift not merely as a replacement for humans, but as an integral part of the transformation. The introduction of AI into the workforce can elevate every employee into a proficient knowledge worker by offering tools that enhance human capabilities in any profession, be it manual labor or high-end consultancy. By design, not by default. The fourth and final aspect of the leadership mindset is what I call by design, not by default. In order to succeed in the New World Order, we must never resign ourselves to the inevitability of default options. In practical terms, design thinking, particularly employing the techniques and philosophy of human-centered design, as well as systems thinking approaches, can help us to understand the structures that guide the world and help us appreciate how new technologies may shift systems into new configurations. Science fiction is becoming science fact, and since humans are biological and don't progress exponentially, we often have a very hard time understanding where our new technologies are going and anticipating the pace they're traveling. As leaders, momentum is a key concept applied to a set of critical big bets, along with a strategy of optionality when lessons learned require critical and alternate response. Today, we have a profound opportunity to reimagine ways of working, as well as the norms of human interest and interaction that help us create a cohesive culture, generate social solidarity, strengthen purpose, boost resilience, and build shared trust and cooperation. Culture exists in an organization either by design or by default. As business leaders, we must create a culture that encourages workers to focus on what is essential, putting purpose first, creating a mutual understanding of the company's mission and vision for both mutual prosperity and the common good of all, and living company values of equity and inclusion. In other words, purpose, prosperity, people, and planet. In conclusion, to imagine and realize new ways to meet collective and individual needs, companies must tap into the full humanity of the people who work for them, the reward for which is sustained growth. The successful organization of the future will seek to instill a purposeful value delivery system into everyday commerce by targeting not only frontier technologies, but also the exclusively human competencies the organization most desires, whether these are allied to productivity, profitability, or the realm of innovation. As the futurist Alvin Toffler once wrote, quote, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." We hope you've enjoyed this video on leading the purpose-driven organization in a digital world order. We look forward to seeing you at another LDS-sponsored podcast, LDS On video, or certainly you can consume any of our thought leadership at our website at www.lds.com. Thanks for attending. We'll see you the next time.